Alright, so hello everyone. We'll be continuing from where we stopped in our last session. Um, so I hand over to our facilitator for today, which is Costa. So over to you.
So today, hi everyone. Once again, my name is Gospa. I'm your front-end developer and a blockchain developer. So I'll be talking on DeFi protocols and standards today. What are DeFi protocols? What are the standards I use? And so many lot of things. So let me start by what is a DeFi protocol. A DeFi protocol is like, should I say, um, is a blockchain-based financial service. Like the like a bank is your protocol, a broker or payment processor is like your traditional protocols. But in DeFi, we are trying to make it blockchain wise, which uses the pattern of the traditional way, but is blockchain wise. There's no third party. You just can interact with your this thing bank. You can interact with your money without having to go through the bank. That's what DeFi protocol simply means. So they operate without traditional ways like banks, brokers, or this thing. So some of the popular DeFi protocols are like Dex Exchange, which are used to exchange money, Uniswap and SushiSwap, which are used to be exchanged from one um, coin to another. We have automated machines, yeah, which are used to deposit funds, So in DeFi protocols, the advantage is that there's no need for what a central authority for you to perform your trades or to get your money. You can swap from one exchange from Ethereum to Solana, something like that. You can swap from one exchange to another without having to have an order book of what you can perform lending and borrowing without having to pass through a third body like the bank, stable coins, and a lot. So I'll be talking more on the types of DeFi protocols tokens that are being used nowadays, the token standards in DeFi. So some of the token standards are especially ERC20, which has to deal with tokens, these meme coins that you see every day of your life. These coins, they follow the Ethereum blockchain standards, which is ERC20. For you to create a coin, you have to follow the Ethereum blockchain standard, which is ERC20. ERC20. So in the for us to understand this, I'll be teaching you more on ARC20, the features of ARC20, and how it can be used. So there are different functions to do this. So ARC20 is more like an exchange means for you to exchange money. So like they have value when you want to exchange. For example, now USDT, I want to exchange to USDT. You can use a token to exchange that to a USDT. For example, when you're making a transaction from one meme coin to USDT, you have to exchange that token. So some of the key functions, the standard that follows ERC20 is one, total supply. For it to be an ERC20, it must have its total supply tokens. Now, we must also have the balance of that address. What is the balance of that address that we want to exchange that token? What, how can we is there a transfer function? And ERC20 must have a transfer function which has an address and the amount that you want to transfer. There must be an approval by another address that he wants to accept this change. There must be an allowance, the amount of money that has to be spent, and where are you transferring this money to? So these are one of the important features in ERC20 that we have to understand. Understand. So uh, I will be teaching you how to code this. So now when you open your remix, you see that there's a place called sorry, there's a place called create your ERC token using this template, an already made template. So for example, now let's say we have where's my contract? So, This is my contract. Yes, this is my contract here, which this contract is being wrapped by OpenZilla, which is a template which allows us to have options instead of hard coding it. Hard coding it. Hold on. Which we have to hard code it. Instead of us to hard code this, Remix has allowed us to have a template for that contains all the functions. For example, now, if my token was called to be called gospel, and I have uh, the token symbol to be what GTM, and my permit is my token. Now, if I wanted to launch this compile, waiting for it to yes, compile and deploy it. Let's say we want to deploy this token. Now you see that it has a lot of functions here. My tokens. I told you it must have what an approve function, must have what a payment function, must have what a transfer. Why are you transferring this token to? What are you who are you transferring to? The balance of that person, the decimal, the name, the type of Ethereum standard you're using, name of the token, which is gospel, the symbol, which is GTM, and the total supply, which is zero, meaning that I did not put the total supply. So that is how ERC20 works. And let me show you a code snippet of how it is. So, for example, now we have a code snippet here. These are the interfaces that we are using for this. So these are a lot of functions which are being wrapped into one. The interface, what is going to be returned. The interface holds like a picture of how the function is what is supposed to return in exchange. So let's say my contract, I'm going to be following the standard ERC20. My contract name is what? My token. We have the symbol, we have the decimal to be 18, which is in well. We have the total supply, which can be overridden. I just have to give it. We have the balance and the allowance. Now for the constructor, I'll insert. I told you what the constructor is. It's just like a picture that has you can insert what you want. I insert the initial supply, the total amount of supply that I want to do. Now the initial supply is what? Let's say total supply is got initial supply. This is the calculation for performing total supply. Your initial supply times 10, then exponential 18, which is will be what the wells we multiply it. Now the total supply is now being equals to the balance of the person that is creating this coin. That is now I am the supplier. Now the balance of address is the balance. I'm going this function now. Please, I want to know the balance of who is holding this coin. That is what security does. Now, if I want to transfer, I have to have the address of who I'm sending to, the amount I want to have. And when it's being sent, what is it true? Has this thing been sent? Now, there's what we call re-entrance error, where you the amount you first of all send the transfer before you deduct. It will cause a re-entrance. What you do is first of all you minus the amount that you want before sending it, so that it checks first, has this thing been minus? If it's minus, please transfer the same amount instead of you transferring the amount and removing it, which can cause a re-entrance error where people can deduct your money before you even know it. So that is what the function transfer do. The approve is telling you, please, whosoever is spending money, I want to approve that. The transfer is who are you transferring to? The person, the sender. This holds the record of who the sender is, who the person is receiving, and the amount that is being sent. So the allowance is how much is being spent. So let's say we compile it and run it. So I've shown you how the template looks like. So let me go back to my code. The interface is there's supposed to be an interface here that holds. And these are the events that's going to be sent out in the interfaces. Obviously, allowance, approve, and the transfer from. So after on ERC20, what we are going to be looking next is what we are going to be looking next is the ERC721, which has to do with arts and collectibles. So for ERC721, what we ordinarily do is this: they are non-fungible tokens. That means they are like assets. They are like art, music, multi collectibles, which can be exchanged. They're like assets instead of like coins. I draw a picture, I upload it to the blockchain. I'm going to use ERC721 to make a transaction for this. So that is how ERC721 works. So the key functions of ERC721 is more returns the owner. You must have what the owner who has this asset. That is what ERC721. Who has this asset? Who transferring this asset to? Who approves this asset and gets approved? So that is how ERC721 works. Let me show you a bit. Let's say this is ERC721. So a template of how ERC721 works. I created my token with this, compile it. Then it must have what? A name, who approved these tokens, the transfer, the approval, the balance, who has the balance, the name, the symbol, which is the token URL. The token URI is more like the metadata of the URI. The total URI, sorry, let me take water. So for the ERC721, we have to deal with NFTs. What you see on OpenSea, that is what is being used, the standard, the ERC721. So I'll show you a code snippet of how ERC721 performs functions. Now, for example, now I have an interface that is going to return all this. My function will have the balance, the order, and the safe transfer, and the approve. You get approved. And you get approved. Now, so for my contract, we have what? The name, we have the symbol, and we have the an array of owners who holds this NFT, the balances of who holds this NFT, the token approvals. So what we do now is we get the name, the symbol, the balance of the owner, the safe transfer from, the approve function, the get approved, and the minting. The minting is actually used in NFT. What it means that for every ID of that token, increment it, then store the ID in the name whoever is holding it. Then the balance increases by one whenever you are minting the NFT. That is what the minting function does here. Then you can transfer this NFT to somebody and approve. It's just like you selling a house or an art. If you go to an auction, like where they sell art, you just have to sell it, sell the art. When sell the art, a price is being set on that art. Who bid that price? So the higher the price, the higher the person, the ability for the person to win. So that is how NFT works. It's more a non-fungible topic, which means that it is using assets, and these are the standards, the template for you to follow when you are creating an NFT. So instead of you to even stress yourself, you have to just understand the underlying features of these NFTs, but they are already made templates which you can use to perform your NFTs. So next one we are going to be talking about is ERC1155 tokens. Now, ERC1155 is more like an hybrid. You can both create fungible and non-tokens, and hybrid of ERC20 and ERC31 something, if I'm correct, the NFT, which is ERC71. Now, it's more like an hybrid version of having uh, the non-fungible and the fungible tokens. So, which make it, you can use it in gaming marketplaces where I upload my NFT, I want to sell it to someone. ERC 1155 allows this. So for you to implement an ERC 1155, you have to know the balance of the person who you are transferring to and who approves this you are transferring to. So let me check if there is a template for this. ERC 1155. So I don't think there's an ERC 115 here, so we just have to code it. So for example, now we say we have my token here. We have, I'm trying to implement. Now for the ERC, something, this is a template and hybrid version of both the token. So you need to have an hybrid, a function that has both the balance, who are you transferring to, who is approving this. So for example, now we have my token, which is following the standard of what 1155, and the balance, the operators, people have approved this function. So some balance checks the account and the ID, who is holding the NFT, and the balance of that person, who is transferring it and who is approving it. You see, there is a mint function that goes for the mint NFC, the address, which is the address now, and the ID amount of who is maintaining that. So here to 1155 actually is more like an hybrid version of this ERC20 versus 712, which they are combined to be one and which are being used. So let me try it. So that's the code snippet for ERC115. Very easy to be used and can be used in gaming and when you are trying to do in marketplaces. So for now, we have talked about ERC1157, ERC721, and ERC20. Now let's talk about DeFi protocols and why they are important. So let's talk about DeFi protocols and why they are important. So let's say the key features for protocols are because decentralization, the ability for one ecosystem not to be controlled by a central authority is one of the key things in decentralization. In DeFi protocol, nobody holds your money, nobody can restrict you from your money. So they rely based on smart contract and consensus algorithms. Consensus algorithm like proof of stake, proof of work, and many more. But I think Ethereum has been shifted to proof of stake, where you have to stake for it to work for you to be a validator. So, DeFi protocols work on transparency. You see your money can be audited. Security is very tight. It can be exchanged from one token to another. So, the popular DeFi protocols we have are Uniswap, for decentralized exchange when you are trying to change from one ecosystem to another. We have Uniswap, SushiSwap, and Core Finance, which allows you to change from one token to another. And we also have lending and protocols, lending and borrowing platform that allows you to lend money so you can pay back, which are like Market DAO. We have if, and we have a lot of them which allows to borrow assets, and also by you providing collateral. So the smart contract there helps you to borrow money while retaining some part of it. So you don't have to go through financial institution to go and borrow money. If you think of more like a flash loan in smart contract, So there are a lot of things that are there. So on different protocol, we also have stable coins. So stable coins are like uh, the real assets like the US dollar. They are crucial in decentralized finance because they allow price stability. So instead of, for example, a coin may rise up and down, but if you change it to stable coins, it stays dormant. There is no rise and fall there. Then let's just say it is initially not influenced, it just stays in one place. For example, I have a token. For example, we have a cryptocurrency Solana. Let's say it was at $200, and I exchanged Solana to USDT, and it was $200. If the market drop at Solana, it will still be $200. It will not reduce. But if I was putting it in Solana, it will fall. That is what stable coins are. Um, then why are these important? So they are important because one, they provide financial inclusions. You can borrow money, they allow transparency, they are trustless. I don't have to go to the bank. I have my trust that I can get my money anytime. You don't have to they are efficient, faster, cheaper. You don't have to go through the stress of all the protocol of walking down the lane, signing papers, and all that. They allow for cross-border payment. I don't have to go to the bank because I want to go to do a US transfer. I can just stay in my room, send money to someone outside. In minutes or in seconds, the person receives his money. So I have control over my assets. I don't have to depend on the bank. The bank is which is the central county authority can hold my money, but decentralization allows you to have a control over your assets. So uh, DeFi protocols are one of the main assets to global market. They are borderless. They allow institutions that can allow lending, financial services. And for example, if I'm a farmer in Nigeria and I want to borrow funds on a DeFi lending platform, so someone can invest in my asset and track the price of that and even mint NFTs. So DeFi protocol allows you to perform all this seamlessly without having you to stress yourself over that. So in conclusion, DeFi protocols are making financial industry more decentralized, transparent, and trust. So I don't have to be stressing myself to be sending money over fees. I don't have to be stressing money that I have control over my money. I can lend and borrow and pay anytime. The different protocols have standards which they follow, which I told you. For tokens, we have the ERC20, which I must transfer, approve, the same. The name of this coin. We have the NFTs, the non-fungible ERC712, which has to do with assets. And we have the hybrid, which is ERC1155, that both include ERC20 and ERC 712, which is NFT. I hope you understand this because it's actually very broad. Very broad. It's a broad ecosystem, and you can't cover up everything in a day. So there are more research papers more documents, if you read on the Ethereum white papers, DeFi protocols papers, you will understand more of this. We have DeFi protocols, we have DeFi chains, we have a lot of things on DeFi. DeFi on its own is like a course on its own. Definitely, we have building on the apps. DeFi alone on is like a course on its own. We have the more things coming out. We have DePIN that are coming out now. We have DeFi. We have SIG casing. We have zero knowledge proofs that are coming out. So the ecosystem is changing at a rapid pace. So I hope you tend to understand this and learn more. I think I've tried my best to explain as possible I can in explaining it. So are you still there? I think I'm
Okay.
done.
Okay, yeah, done.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So thank you very much for that, and thank you guys for joining us. And that marks the end of today's session. So we'll see you next week. Bye.